The layered landscape project for second grade. You need to pull out your art toolkit. You need to grab this brown waxy type paper to lay on your workspace and to get out of your toolkit. One of the papers in the back, it's a white piece of watercolor. And the first step of every art project is to write your name on the back. So write your full name, and then write your in-person teacher. Okay, now we're ready to start. Now the first step that I want you to do, so just like that, mentally I want you to divide it into 3 parts. And then the first step, in this upper third of the paper, somewhere there, I want you to draw a circle that is about the size of a quarter. The next step, in the second section of the paper, I want you to draw some mountain. To make these mountains, we're going to be using some diagonal lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in some mountains. You can make some of them taller than others. You can make some of them go off the page if you want. Now the next step, in the lower third section, I might need to carry some of these lines down a bit more. In the lower third section, we're going to make some rolling hills and just use some curved lines. See, like this? Remember, our eye likes to see things in odd numbers, like 3 or 1. So there's the 1 sun, there's the 3 mountains, and there's 3 hills. So we just did some curved lines on this bottom part, and we did some straight diagonal lines for the mountains. Okay, the next step is that we're going to be drawing in about 5 circles around the sun, and you'll want to leave about 2 fingers width in between each. So I'm just going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? And then you're going to continue this as though it's a circle around the sun. So trying to keep about the same distance. And when you come to a mountain, jump over it and continue on the other side. And then you're going to go to the next area that you marked. Now notice here, that circle would go off the page, so just don't put anything there. And again, that line would not go anywhere there because the mountain would be blocking it. Okay? And I think we'll just end it right there. Now we're going to get our black oil pastel out of your art toolkit. We are going to go over the lines you just drew and try to press hard so that there's not any white showing through. And I would recommend starting at the top so that you don't smudge. And if you put the oil pastel at an angle, I'm using the side, the little tip of it, it'll make a nice, thin, dark line. Okay, and then at this point, I'm going to keep working down so that I don't put my hand on it. And then I'm going to go to my diagonal lines in my mountains. And then I'm going to do the hill lines up here, but I'm going to do this part first because it's up higher and I don't want to smudge. And if you need to turn your paper, go ahead and turn your paper. Okay, now we're going to put our black oil pastel away. And at this point, you need to get out your cup, fill it with water, and get out your watercolors. Now the cup does not need to have a ton of water. I've maybe filled this a third full. Okay, the first step, we're going to get out our paintbrush. You might need to take off the little cap. Get our brush wet. And we're going to start with just these three colors at the top, with yellow, orange, and red. I'm going to choose to make my sun yellow. So notice with holding the brush, I'm holding my paintbrush like a pencil down in the metal section, and then I'm going to get enough water and enough color so that our sun can be a vibrant color. And if you need to, grab some more paint. Try to stay away from the black, but it's okay if you do touch it because it's oil pastel and it will resist the watercolor. We colored in our sun yellow, and I guess if you wanted to, you could color it orange if you really wanted to, or red. It's up to you. However, what we are going to do with this area of the sky is we're going to make a pattern. And notice how this one uses a pattern of colors. So it goes from yellow to orange to red, back to yellow, orange, red, yellow, orange, red. Okay, so we're going to do that same sort of pattern. And so get water on your brush again. And if you'd like orange to be your next color, go ahead and make sure that you get enough color on your paintbrush so that it's not too diluted of a color. And again, try to stay away from the black area so that you can keep it a nice, true orange color. And notice what I'm doing. I'm outlining the area that I want to fill in first, and then I fill it in. Okay, next I'm going to grab my red. What to notice is the colors that we chose for the sky are the warm colors. When you look at these colors, they're the warm colors. They make you feel warm, so that's why they're called the warm colors. Okay, so I did the first yellow, orange, red. Now, to complete our pattern, what would we do next? That's right, we would do yellow. What are some other patterns that you all can think of? You can make patterns with things besides colors. How about if we made patterns with letters? Like AB, AB, AB. Or we could make patterns with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And like we did here, we made patterns with colors. Yellow, orange, red, yellow, orange, red. Now one thing I want you to notice here is we've still got a little piece of sky right there. So we need to make that, that's also this yellow color. So don't forget to add that in if you have a section like that on your piece of paper. Okay, next we've got to go back to So it was yellow, orange, red, yellow, right, orange right there. And then the last color in our pattern is going to be red. Okay, and there your sky is done. And now we're going to move on to the cool colors in the mountains and in the hills. In the mountain region, we're going to do purple. So these colors in this palette are black, brown, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, obviously. So this is the purple color that you're going to use for the mountains. Now notice how dark this mountain was because I used a lot of the pigment that was in the watercolor. What I want to do with this one, so that this mountain looks a little bit different, is we're going to get some pigment on get the color on your paintbrush and again do the outline first. And then what I want you to do is I want you to grab some water and just use water to spread that color. Notice how it's slightly lighter than that other one that we did straight color from the palette. And then this last area, we're just going to do one strip of color, and then we'll grab water, spread it that way. And our mountains are done. Next, in this hill area, we're going to do some green and some blues. First, I'm going to do some blue here, and then I'm going to do some green here, and then we'll do a blue-green combo here. Next, we'll do the green. Then in this last area, I'm going to try to do a combination of the blue and the green. So I will start some of the green there, and I will add in some of the blue, and we'll make a nice blue-green color. There's your layered landscape project. Now at this point you need to go rinse your brush out, rinse your cup out. You need to keep these, you'll want to dry them. Alright, I'm back. I have washed and dried my brush. I'm going to put it back into my palette, and I've washed and dried my cup. And then close up your palette. Go ahead and stick it back inside your art tool kit. Make sure your oil pastels go back in there as well. And seal it on up and put it back into your main big bag. This art project, go ahead and put it aside to dry. You're going to go ahead and wipe it off with a paper towel. If you need to wet the paper towel to get some of it off, you can, but you're mainly trying to get the wetness off. It's pretty dry now. Then just fold it back up. You're going to use this every time. You're going to put it back into your art kit. Make sure that it's dry though, because you don't want to get your other pieces wet.